Hello everyone. It's time for another live stream. Today I want to talk about green filmmaking. And why I want to talk about this today is because earlier today in the morning I participated in an online discussion courtesy of KICTANET. KICTANET is Kenya ICT Action Network. So they have an email list where people from different sectors weigh in on various issues pertaining to ICT. So currently, the discussions that are going on are related to the KIGF, that's the Kenya Internet Governance Forum. So they are the pre-KIGF discussions. The first one took place yesterday. So today, the topic was related to the environment. So right now I'm looking at the KICTANET website, kictanet.or.ke. So all these discussions can be read via the KICTANET website. So I'm just going to read the introduction to today's topic. So it says, good morning, listers. So listers are the people who are on the email list. Thank you to all who contributed to yesterday's topic. The thread is still open for those who may have further thoughts on data. Welcome to day 2 of our pre-KIGF online discussions. Our topic today is on the environment, which has been powerfully impacted by the internet and information and communication technologies. They connect people, initiative, and resources, thus opening up avenues for collaboration. They also help monitor and track the environment, facilitating understanding, prevention, and more targeted interventions globally. This track aims to understand the interdependences between the use of internet and digital technologies to preserve the environment, but also to threaten its sustainability. It will consider how the positive impacts of ICTs for climate action can be enhanced while minimizing any negative impact. Let's talk about climate change, ICTs, impact on the environment, leveraging artificial intelligence and big data, as we ponder on the below questions. How can existing and emerging digital technologies contribute to addressing climate change, and how can they foster change in various sectors of the economy, such as manufacturing, trade, agri-food, and so on? What initiatives exist and what can be done to improve them? So that's the first question. The second question, what can be done to reduce the carbon footprint of ICTs? For example, sustainable infrastructure, carbon neutral data centers, efficient manufacturing, use and recycling of devices, and so on. What lessons can be learned from various communities, for example, indigenous people, and existing initiatives? Third question, what role can data and AI play in tackling sustainability issues such as climate change, biodiversity, conservation, and water scarcity? 4. How could policy making benefit from the analysis of big data to better understand impacts of policy decisions on sustainability? Over to you, listers. So I was excited because I'm passionate about matters concerning both ICT and the environment. So I wrote back my reply. So I'm just going to read it before I jump into something related to this. So I replied, thank you for this opportunity. I work in the film industry, so I will answer from that perspective. Regarding question 1 and 2, One of the many tools provided by greenfilmmaking.com is carbon calculators. They list a number, including an app from Germany called the Carbon Film Code. I meant to type there, they list a number of tools, including an app from Germany called the Carbon Film Code. The Green Production Guide of the Producers Guild of America has the carbon calculator, which can be downloaded for free for both PC and Mac. Greenfilmmaking.com also made sustainable additions to their COVID-19 toolkit available on their website. They have a list of green filmmaking research done from several countries. For example, Sam Mendes's Away We Go, 2009, greened up the whole production and wrote a good report about it, which sparked green filmmaking initiatives around the globe. The report is available for download from greenfilmmaking.com. So that was my reply from a filmmaking perspective. And what I want to go through today is actually this report. So I have known about greenfilmmaking.com for about 2 or 3 years, but I haven't really gone through their documents and their tools. So when I was answering this question and going through their website and seeing the reports they have on there, I thought, well, it's about time that I actually explored this all the tools that they have and the research that they've done, because I think it's really important to take the sustainability angle very seriously, regardless of the industry that you're in. So I want to check out this report done by Sam Mendes. As I mentioned in my reply, it's available on the website greenfilmmaking.com, or rather they provide a link which takes you to greenproductionguide.com. I've already opened it. So I won't read the whole report, I'll just read parts of it, beginning with the goal of the study. So it says, the goal of this pilot study was threefold. First, to reduce the carbon emissions of the production Away We Go in measurable and verifiable ways. Second, to decrease other adverse environmental impacts of film production. And third, to stimulate awareness and action among contractors and vendors that will spread green attitudes and impacts beyond the scope of the production. So they prioritized 4 principal areas of the production, namely transportation, energy, waste, and construction/set materials. The production team was then able to achieve substantial reductions in greenhouse gas emissions as well as environmental impacts. For transportation, the production team reduced the number of shoot locations. So this is interesting because, so far I have worked mainly on, especially my personal projects, I've worked on low budget productions. And I'm usually very intentional when I write that I limit the number of locations, because it translates. The fewer locations you have, the less time and money you'll spend moving around and just spending a lot of resources. So I'm usually very intentional when I'm writing that. I make sure that each location is crucial to the story, so that I just don't have things on the page that do not affect the story in any way, but if they are left in the screenplay, they will just add more time and money to the production unnecessarily. So that's one thing that I already do as a screenwriter. I try to limit the number of locations. So this is one thing that these guys did. They reduced the number of shoot locations, rented hybrid vehicles, and reduced truck idling time. For energy used in generators and production vehicles, they pioneered the use of alternative fuels. Wow. Biodiesel made from reclaimed fry grease and soy. Wow. Chosen because this was the least controversial in terms of source. For waste management, they had contractors with experience recycling and removing separate waste streams. Thus, a substantial portion of their waste was redirected away from landfills. Finally, construction chiefs and art directors made an effort to favor low VOC, VOC being volatile organic compounds, paints, and set materials were donated to organizations that could make future use of them. Um, I've always wondered what Kenyan productions do with the set materials that they use. I have a feeling that a lot of it is just stored away and is gathering dust, and it could be put to use. You know, there are very many productions that could recycle or upcycle um, set material that has already been used. So maybe that's one thing that I might look into, just to find out, you know, after our production is over, where are all the props and set materials taken. The report goes on to say the carbon emissions level from the Away We Go movie production was calculated and verified to be approximately 975 metric tons of CO2. So there's a full report about that. It's quite detailed. They give detailed analysis of that. The report also says that hybrid rental cars were driven 45% of the total rental car miles driven during the production. Using hybrid cars saved the production $15 to $41 for each hybrid rental in fuel cost. 150 hybrid rental cars were used during the shoot. So that's 150 times 15. When hybrid vehicles were not available, the production team rented compact, high MPG cars. They used public transportation and carpooling whenever possible for commuting to and from the production office. So, of course, this was done in 2009, way before COVID and the pandemic. So, I wonder how, you know, post this pandemic period, how production practices will change. I don't think it will be business as usual, but anyway, let's wait and see how things will change, because things are already changing by necessity. I just don't know whether the trend will continue. The Away We Go production team implemented numerous other environmentally beneficial strategies, such as by distributing branded aluminium water bottles to members of the cast and crew and providing refilling stations on all locations. The crew was able to avoid sending over 14,000 plastic water bottles to landfills over the course of the production. So that's a huge impact. You know, plastic water bottles are you know, a staple in production. So refillable water bottles, I think, is just one simple way of making a big impact. The production used 3-par film stock, which uses 25% less stock and 25% less chemicals in the manufacturing and the processing. The craft services team purchased organic food